you are in Developing Timekeeping, Lesson Module 2. We are going to talk about controlling and playing the sustain of the notes on the drum set. There's two reasons to do this. The first is it helps with something called articulation. And articulation is how the notes are expressed to the listener. Are they long? Are they sharp? Are they smooth? Are they short? Are they hard and then building in a crescendo? All these different things are articulations. The second thing it's going to help us with is the ability to add relaxation and energy into everything we do by controlling the length of the notes that we're playing. It's a little hard to understand, but I think I got a demonstration that might help you out. So the first thing we need to talk about is the fact that when we play the drums, unfortunately for us, this is a 16th note, this is an 8th note, this is a half note, this is a whole note, this is a, whatever. We are, in theory, waiting around for the correct amount of time to play the next note. When you think like that, playing this instrument, you get into trouble in a lot of different ways. It's way easier to lose the subdivisions, to weave around subdivisions when you're not thinking about the full sustain value of a note. If you were playing a horn, like say a saxophone or something, you would be responsible, if it was a quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of doing this, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, you would be playing ba, 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 ba. The full sustain values of those notes like that. But because we're playing the drums, it's just a tap, and then we're waiting till the next downbeat there to play those quarter notes. Now, the one way to experience this is with the brushes, and this is what I talk about when I'm teaching brushes, and in our lesson modules about brushes, we'll be discussing this more in depth, but one of the things about the brushes is that you become responsible for the sustain. So a quarter note is not tap, 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 tap. It's da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Even an 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And even a 16th note, there's a sustain value to it. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. You can see that even with the 16th note, it's not da 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 da, it's da 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 da. I'm thinking about that when I'm playing different beats and different grooves. I'm hearing the sustain in what I'm doing. Let me give you an example. I'm going to demonstrate now what's called playing in the center of time. So I'm going to have an 8th note subdivided click, and I'm going to play exactly with the click track, like we talked about in lesson module 1 with locking in with the subdivisions. And then I want to show you how thinking about making the note shorter will add energy to what I'm doing, because there's less space in between the notes in the downbeats. There's a small range in a downbeat that we can adjust to add energy and relaxation. If I think about the notes sustain being nice and long, very legato, it will lay the groove back a little bit. Okay, so let me demonstrate this now with the cross stick. Put on 8th notes, slightly. Here we go. So first I'm going to play in the center, and then we'll talk about moving it ahead and behind. 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. So I'm hearing the notes like this. Da 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 da. I'm going to shorten that up so it sounds like this. Da 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 da. Okay, now back to middle. Da 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 da. I'm going to think about them being long. Da 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 da. the middle. So hopefully, with that demonstration, you can hear and see how the groove then feels a slight bit urgent because I'm playing on top, and then when I think about the sustains being longer, it sort of leans back a little bit. So with that articulation happening in my brain, it allows me to change the way that I can make grooves feel. And this is all a part of timekeeping, because the real trick is, once I establish what that articulation is going to be, if it's going to be a nice, fat, relaxed beat, then I need to stay there. All of the fills and movements around that need to sit in that same pocket with that same position in time, that same relaxed feeling. If I adjust things here and there, unless it has a really good reason, you can do it from section to section in a tune maybe, but not so much during a fill or whatever, you're going to feel a weave. So we spoke about that before. We don't want the weaving feeling. So let me demonstrate. I'll do two quick demonstrations. The first will be playing something that's on top of the time, meaning I'm thinking about a shorter articulation of notes. And in the second one, I'll move it back and play something that's more relaxed and on the back of the time, thinking about a longer sustain of notes. So here's the first one on top. One, two, three, four. Now, I'll play it behind, and I'll think about it longer. This kind of beat would usually always feel behind, like a blues thing. 1, 2, 3, and. And I kept straight eighth note clicks through both of those to sort of show you where they would be sitting in relation to each other. The blues thing is more triplet based, so in theory I would want to be putting a triplet subdivision on to practice that with. But anyway, for purposes of demonstration, I wanted you to see how the feel changed from that a little bit more aggressive feel to a relaxed feel. So I'm going to perform now playing a beat with some fills and some different things that will be sitting behind the time, and show you how that feels and how I'm thinking about the sustain of those notes, and you can hear the space in everything that I'm playing. And this would be the concept and approach to working on playing the sustain of everything that we do. So here's a performance that sits real nice and behind. One, two, 1, 2, 3.